Bonjour, welcome to NetNewsLedger. I have a very honorable guest in the studio today, Ms. Cora-Lee. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Bonjour, Wabagunuike, Nishikaz, Mako Nadodem, Dingwe Niashi Nishnabek, Nindonjiba. So I'm Cora, I'm the Executive Director for the Ontario Native Women's Association, and it's a great pleasure to be here today with Amanda.
So we have some pretty exciting walk today in Thunder Bay, the Full Moon Memory Walk.
Yes.
And you're going to be saying a speech there, I hear.
Yes. They've invited me to speak at their, I believe it's the 12th celebration for the Full Moon Memory Walk in honoring missing and murdered Indigenous women from Northern Ontario. And so it's great pride to be here this year as we finally have the inquest into missing and murdered Indigenous women, which is the reason why the walk had started. And so it's actually showing the success on how communities come together to work together to bring awareness to issues in government listening.
So it's more focused on for the government and the Truth and Reconciliation. Were you part of that?
That day, yes.
Yes.
It was a historical day. Earlier this year, the government of Ontario, in a historic announcement, made an apology to residential school survivors and invited, for the first time in the history of the Ontario legislature, Indigenous women were allowed to speak on the floor to all parties and accept Premier Wynn's apology on the devastating effects of the colonial system and the residential school era.
That was a very powerful movement. I mean, I felt it myself.
Yes.
It was, and I'm hoping. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen next?
I'm really hopeful as well as the TRC has based culture as the foundational piece to healing from the residential school system. And that's what our communities need. Our people need to begin reconciliation with ourselves first in order for communities to heal. The woman needs to heal. Women are key and central to our families and our community. And so when we have healthy women who are supported and honored from the entire community and from our men, we have healthy families, healthy community. And so that's where we need to begin.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you there. With that piece, I hear that ONWA is doing a powwow in October. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so our leadership, our board of directors, runs to recognize and honor our missing and murdered Indigenous women, and to host ceremony as well as this inquiry is, and the pre-inquiry process has continued to traumatize and reopen up scars in our communities. And so we need to learn how to heal those scars and how to close those wounds from a traditional perspective. And so we're hosting a powwow on October 2nd at 380 Ray Blvd. And we've invited in the Grassy Narrows woman's, the grandfather drum. So it's a big drum where it's a healing drum. And the Grassy Narrows women have a very beautiful story that I'll let them share that day on the power of that drum to heal.
And what time does that start?
10 until approximately 2, and the entire community is invited to come on out and participate. We're also calling upon all women hand drummers to come out. We're calling upon our non-Indigenous community as well to come on out and to see and learn from our women on our culture.
And I hear it's going to be live streamed.
Yes. And so we have a great announcement today with NetNewsLedger is going to come on out and live stream the event. And so if you're not able to be there to participate, you'll be able to participate online. So this is taking our culture into a new level and embracing change. So it's great.
That is great. So if you have a hand drum or if you have anything in your culture, in your community, to participate with that energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can drum with us online, and that would be fantastic, and supporting our entire community and across nations. We're also bringing in Inuit throat singers to come on and showcase their culture. And so our Pow Wow is to recognize all cultures within Ontario, not just the Ojibwe. So it's going to be a great experience.
Nice. What's your thoughts on the Walk a Mile project? What's happening with the police, the relationship with the Indigenous people and the police?
Yes, I've been asked this question a couple of times, and I think it's the process that was set in place wasn't structured to address these issues. You can't do cultural competency training in a few hours. I think that it's one of those, hard discussions that needs to happen. And we need to work within our systems. We need to work within the justice system in a good way from a strength-based approach. We can't continue to take a negative-based approach and point fingers and blame people, because then we get nowhere, So there's that saying where somebody pokes you in the eye, so you poke them back in the eye. And before you know it, you have two blind people walking around, poking each other in the eye. So at some point we need to work together and unify our community as opposed to dividing our community amongst races.
That's a great approach. I meant it's because it's like what you said, right? Violence only begets violence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And with that, there is another program that you're hosting again on October 18th.
Yes, ONWA's been very busy on addressing violence. That's our mandates within our strategic plan. So we're also hosting a trauma-informed conference on October 18th and 19th here in Thunder Bay at the Nor'Wester Hotel and Resort. And so the trauma-informed conference is to bring together community solutions on how to address trauma. So, and looking at the continuum of violence and all the trauma within all different sectors of the life cycle. And so the conference is designed and set up to provide community members with the capacity to address that trauma with themselves and with community members.
Is there anything that ONWA will be doing that's ongoing for the murdered and missing women?
Yes, we have, we're currently working on setting up a website, as well as we're going to have a referral service for family members who are traumatized during the inquiry process. So we can't be in all communities, but what we can do is we can help guide people who are looking for help and support to where to access support in their communities across the province. So we're currently looking at all cultural resources and trauma-informed care services in the province.
Wow, that is great. It's so nice to have you.
Yes, thank you.
Again. And it's so nice to know that ONWA is trying to reach out to the people a lot more now that the speech throne was made.
Thank you. So it's been great talking with you today.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing great work, so thank you.
Thank you, Cora-Lee.
Thanks.
Chmiigwech, Nijwet Mog, Nishnabinikas. Aha.